I had a neighbor, he was half German, half Portuguese. He was a Hardy's Angels. He was a gangster. He like literally, all of a sudden, next door to my house would be like 50 motorcycle guys, like big old, gang guys. And they had guns, they had this and that, and like they would pull up. And he had marijuana growing from his house, and it would be in my house like this, Unfortunately, I didn't smoke because I would have had a good time. But, I was never into that stuff. But his marijuana was over here, and he had a pool, and every Friday, Saturday night, there was such a wild party there. Every single, and to the point there'd be screaming and this and that, and, we couldn't sleep. And my father would always say, you know what, like we said, should we call the cops? My father, no, he's a neighbor. Make sure you never, ever call the cops on him. And when he would see him in the morning, my father would come, hey, Daniel, how are you? Just like nothing happened last night. Hey, Daniel, how are you? Just like that, every single time. And the movie, The Passion of the Christ came out, and this is an old movie that came out about Isa, about Jesus, peace be upon him, and how they beat him, and then his disciples forsook him and run away from him and stuff like that. And Daniel, as I came out of the house one day, and he says, hey, Abdul. And I said, what's up, Dad? He says, hey, man, you got any material on your religion, on Islam, on the Muslim? Do you have any material? And he was high as a kite, just high. And I had some Ahmadi stuff, and I had some stuff. So I took it all to him, and he went and watched it and everything, this and that. And then he had watched the movie The Passion. And then the next week he comes to me and I come out and he says, hey, Abdul, I want to be what you guys are. And I said, what do you mean, Daniel? I was like, man, Daniel, you're high, man. What's going on with me? He's like, I want to be a Muslim like you. I want to be a Muslim. And I said, really? And he said, yeah. And I said, why? He said, well, there's a couple of reasons. He said, I watched the movie, The Passion, and I saw that the disciples of Jesus all ran away from him. He said, look, man, I'm in a gang. If one of my homeboys, if somebody's going to attack him, I'm going to fight to the death. We would all jump in. He goes, so if his disciples ran away, then he must have not been God. Because how is anybody going to be afraid if they're rolling with God? So he must have not, that's a gangster logic, right? That's his logic. He's like, there's no way he was God because they wouldn't have ran away. And then he said, and another thing he said, I've been living in this neighborhood for 28 years. He said, for 28 years. He said, and we had just moved there, we were there for about 4 or 5 years. He said, in the last 28 years, I've chased away almost 6, 7 people that bought houses. They sold the house and they dipped because they didn't want me as their neighbor. And each one of them called the cops on me. Every single weekend in the cops. He said, you're the first neighbor that moved in that never ever called the cops on me. And that your dad would say hello to me every single morning. And this is what made him Muslim. And now he still calls me sometimes. He's with his friends or something, and he puts me on speaker. Abdul, tell this guy Jesus ain't God. Tell this guy Jesus ain't God. And it's that akhlaq.